So, for those of you who might not know, on my old channel, for some of the guys that are familiar with my old channel, you knew that I used to constantly roast Floyd. Seeing that he's not really involved with any real boxing anymore, I hadn't felt the need to do it in quite some time. But just to kind of give y'all, we're gonna call this a journey through the past and kind of go over what I used to talk about on my old channel quite a bit, which is the coward and disgrace that is Floyd Mayweather. Okay, but we'll start off with this.
We're supposed to find out tomorrow whether the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight is finally going to happen. But apparently now, you can't count on it. Pacquiao has agreed to the steroid testing that allegedly scuttled a March matchup. But Mayweather still won't sign off. Veteran boxing writer Bert Sugar tells Examiner.com that Mayweather is not afraid of Pacquiao per se, but maybe scared of losing since his marketability is tied to being unbeaten. Bob, can this make any sense to you?
Total sense. There is no other reason that I can think of why he wouldn't want to go through with this fight. It will be lucrative. I think it's simply this. He's 33. He's undefeated. He wants to remain undefeated. That's that. And he does obviously feel this guy's a threat. I can't come up with any other conclusion.
Bob, I can't either. And you know what? That means you're a coward. When you are a professional prize fighter, you take all comers. You think that Michael Spinks wasn't scared to get in that ring with Mike Tyson? He probably was, but he took the shot and he got in there. If this guy won't fight the best guy of his era, come on, can you imagine the fighters when you and I, and we've covered so much boxing in our life, these guys are fearless. There's a courage it takes to step in the ring that I can't even imagine. But that's what the job calls for. And if you don't want to fight Pacquiao, and I've been saying for months that Floyd Mayweather is scared of getting in the ring with this guy. If you're scared to lose, that's a cowardly thing. And that is so shameful in boxing, I can't even imagine. I don't want to believe it. I'm sitting scared to lose. That's a cowardly thing.
Now let's continue. So I kind of want to, like I said, for those of you who are familiar with from my old channel, I used to constantly go in on Floyd Mayweather all the time, in and outside of the ring. He's the biggest coward in the history of sports. But I wanted to start off with the early life of Floyd Mayweather. So Floyd Mayweather was born in 1977 to a crackhead fucking Floyd Mayweather Sr., a coward of a man, another man who also abused women and smoked crack his entire life. Never did anything with himself. That's what Floyd Mayweather was born to, a household of drug addict, coward, fucking degenerates on society. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree in the case of Floyd Mayweather. He's quite frankly the biggest coward in the history of mankind. But he not only was he a coward inside the ring, he was also a coward outside the ring. He was a coward in every facet of the word. He was a coward in the way he treated women. He was the coward in a way he treated people of other races. He was a coward in the way he boxed. He was a coward in the way he avoided fights. The man is a picture of Floyd Mayweather's head should be stamped on every Webster's dictionary next to the picture of coward. Okay. But Floyd Mayweather was born to a crackhead piece of shit, Floyd Mayweather Sr., who never did anything with his life. He ruined his own boxing career after getting his ass beaten by Sugar Ray Leonard, smoked a bunch of crack, went to prison, and beat women in the meantime. But let's talk about Floyd's dad for a second. Floyd's dad was also a degenerate, drug addict, coward. Like I said, filth produces filth, and in no case is this clearer than in the Mayweather family. Filth produces filth. And we're going to go through 3 generations of Mayweathers just to prove that to you. Filth produces filth. Floyd Mayweather Sr. was a piece of shit. Floyd Mayweather himself is a piece of shit and a coward. And his daughter, and I don't like to talk about people's kids, but his daughter is also a ridiculously big piece of shit. There's Not much to say. Like I said, the apple doesn't fall far from the fucking tree. He was his father and mother and his older relatives were filth. He's filth, and his kids are filth. Filth produces filth, people. It's that simple. But let's start by going through the fucking grocery list of guys that Floyd Mayweather avoided like the plague in his career, and that'll ultimately take us to the Manny Pacquiao saga. So when Floyd Mayweather was at 130 and 135 pounds, he ducked Paul Spadafora. He ducked Arcelino Freitas. He ducked Yoel Casamayor. And he also ducked a 135 prime Shane Mosley. Now, Floyd Mayweather fucking dick riders will try to tell you that somehow Mosley ducked Floyd after the Fernando Vargas fight because he needed an operation or a root canal or some shit like that. But in actuality, what happened was Shane Mosley challenged Floyd in 1999 to a super fight. Okay? Floyd Mayweather was at 130 pounds at the time. Sugar Shane Mosley was at 135 pounds at the time. So they were 5 pounds apart. And the reason why the fight didn't happen is that because Floyd Mayweather came up with the excuse that he was trying to, well, it wasn't an excuse because it sounded like a legitimate reason at the time, but Floyd said, and I quote, "I'm not going to go up to 135 to fight Shane Mosley because I'm going to try and break the title defense record at 130 pounds, which sounded good, which is, it actually sounds like a legitimate reason to not take that fight. Okay, fair enough. You're going to try and break the title defense record at 130 pounds. But guess what happens after that? Shane Mosley jumps up 2 weight classes and beats a prime Oscar De La Hoya. And who moves up in weight right after that? Floyd Mayweather. So he lied about trying to break the title defense record at 130 pounds, ducked the prime Shane Mosley, and then cowardly weaseled his way out of that fight until much, much later when Sugar Shane Mosley was nearly 40 years old. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that more. Thank you, Megalodon, for this donation. Appreciate it. So not only did he, so at this point, this is just at 130 and 135 pounds. We haven't even gotten into Floyd's ducking campaign at 140 and 147 pounds. So already he ducked the shit out of Paul Spadafora. He ducked Arcelino Freitas. He ducked Yoel Casamayor, and he ducked a prime Sugar Shane Mosley in the lightweight division. That's 4 right off the bat in the infancy stages of Floyd Mayweather's career. That's 4 right off the gate, right out of the gate, just like that. He didn't want to fight none of them boys. Who else was it? Leonard Doreen was out. There was a bunch of them. All right. I'm going to get to that, Dalton. All right. So then after that, this is where the conversation gets difficult, okay? Because Floyd blatantly, and I hate when people say, well, Pretty Boy Floyd was a beast. Money Mayweather wasn't as good. Who did Pretty Boy Floyd fight? Gennaro Hernandez was on his way out the door, and Gennaro Hernandez wasn't that anything special anyways. His whole resume was beating a 40-year-old Azuma Nelson. The one good win that Mayweather had at 130 and 135 pounds was Angel Manfred. Then he ran into Jose Luis Castillo. Jose Luis Castillo clearly beat him got robbed, and they had a rematch, which, in my opinion, that was the best one of Floyd Mayweather's career, was avenging his loss to Jose Luis Castillo. Okay? So already at this point, before we even get into the welterweight, to the Paul Williams and the Margaritos and the Pacquiaos of the world and the Miguel Cottos, he had already ducked Freitas, Leonard Doreen, Paul Spadafore, Yoel Casamayor, a prime Sugar Shane Mosley, lost to Jose Luis Castillo, and yeah, so already before you're even getting up to welterweight, he had already ducked 5 or 6 or 7 people. Okay? You know, and that's one thing about Floyd. Brooks a bum, Carlos. Don't even play with that shit with me. If you're not paying attention, rewind the tape. I'm not going to go over the shit I've already went over. So that was the first. That was the first barrage of guys that Floyd Mayweather cowardly ducked, and he never fought anybody as Pretty Boy Floyd. He went 1-1 with Jose Luis Castillo. He beat a weight drained Diego Corrales that had just gotten out of prison, and he beat Angel Manfredi. That's it. In Floyd Mayweather's first 37 fights, that's all he did, people. He lost to Castillo, beat a weight drained, fresh out of prison Diego Corrales, and beat Angel Manfredi. That's all he did. And I also don't want to hear shit about Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti was shot even before the Mickey Ward fights happened. People like to forget this because most of these fuckers that have channels weren't even watching boxing back then. Floyd, so I don't want to hear shit about Arturo either, rest in peace, because Arturo was shot before the Mickey Ward trilogy even happened. Floyd fought him after the Mickey Ward trilogy. People were saying Gotti needs to retire and hang it up and all that other shit before the fucking Ward trilogy even happened. The Mickey Ward trilogy even happened. So that's not a credible win for Floyd Mayweather either. So now let's move on to what he did at welterweight now. So he jumped up. He jumped up. He did some bullshit. He beat, who the fuck did he beat? He beat a completely shot to pieces Oscar De La Hoya and went life and death with him. A shot De La Hoya gave Floyd all he could handle and arguably beat him. Okay? What do you think that Oscar De La Hoya that fought Trinidad and Mosley would have done to Floyd? He would have killed him. A prime Oscar would have fucking killed Floyd. Okay? Floyd went life and death with a shot to pieces. Carlos, I don't know why you're talking about Kell Brook. We got more important shit to talk about. But anyways, fuck Brook with his faggot ass. Now, anyways, he gave Katie Taylor AIDS. Now, anyways, he went life and death with the shot Oscar De La Hoya. A young De La Hoya would have taken him to the fucking cleaners. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out for you. Then after that, he made Ricky Hatton jump up in weight in a very unfair fight where the referee wasn't letting Ricky Hatton work. And he stopped, and Ricky Hatton was giving Floyd issues. But then the referee intervened. I'm sorry, Carlos, I love you. But then the referee intervened and allowed Floyd Mayweather to cheat in that fight, which people also like to frequently forget. So Floyd Mayweather made Ricky Hatton jump up in weight, then cheated his way out of that fight with the help of the referee, which people also like to forget. And after that, Floyd Mayweather took a retirement Laser beam. All I want is sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads. During this time, in Floyd Mayweather's retirement from 2007 to 2009, he had he didn't really retire. He just saw the storm coming. All right. And in that time, he was able to duck a prime Miguel Cotto. He was able to duck Paul Williams. He was able to duck Margarito and a host of others. Okay. So, and we didn't even talk about Kostya Tszyu either. It's another guy Floyd could have fought when he was at the lower weight classes, but didn't want to. Yeah. So during that retirement between 2007 and 2009, Floyd Mayweather took all the, he took time away to let Miguel Cotto and Paul Williams and Margarito and all these threats, people that he saw as threatening fighters, he saw it as an opportunity to avoid them. All right. Because Floyd Mayweather's career is based on opportunistic douchebaggery. And we'll get into that further. So during that time, he ducked Margarito, he ducked Paul Williams, and he ducked prime Miguel Cotto. All right. So how many people are we at that Floyd Mayweather ducked up to this point? 12. Spada 4, Casamayor, Acelino Freitas, a prime Shane Mosley, Paul Williams, Margarito, Miguel Cotto, Kostya Tszyu. Almost a dozen fighters at this point Floyd Mayweather already did ducked. He had already lost to Jose Luis Castillo. He didn't fight anybody as when he was Pretty Boy Floyd in his first 36 fights, or barely fought anybody. Shout out, Kelmer, shout out, brother. So then, after Floyd gets done ducking all these guys, the Pacquiao saga begins. Well, actually, even prior to that, when Floyd Mayweather returned from his fake retirement, he fought a 130-pound version of Juan Manuel Marquez. During this retirement comeback of Floyd, he made Juan Manuel Marquez, who had one fight at 135 pounds. One fight. He had one fight at 135 pounds. Okay? Marquez had at this point. Floyd Mayweather basically made him jump up from 130 to 147. Then came in overweight and bought his way out of that Marquez fight. He gave up a couple $100,000 to let the fight continue. So Floyd brought Juan Manuel Marquez up 3 weight classes before he fought him. He bought him. He bought a weight advantage and used it, and that's why that Marquez fight was so one-sided. And I maintain the fact, if him and Marquez had fought later down the line, when Marquez had become a welterweight, and that 100 had become more accustomed to 140 pounds and shit, that fight would have been very different. Holy Inferno, God bless you. Thank you for the super chat. He doesn't get any passes. He ducked Spadafore because Spadafore tuned him up in fucking sparring. So he took an unfair weight advantage against Marquez. I mean, and we're only to 2009 now, people. I mean, do I need to keep continuing? So then after that, the whole Pacquiao saga goes on. And Brian Kenny was calling Floyd out. He said, well, why don't you fight the guy that beat Marquez and Manny Pacquiao? Well, I don't wait for no man. I move when I want to move. I move when I want to move. I ain't ducking a dodge or nothing, but I move when I want to move. I ain't waiting for no man. And all that other bullshit. So Floyd made Juan Manuel Marquez jump up 4 fucking weight classes, bought himself the weight advantage, and, then never gave him a rematch there afterwards, which I would have. maybe I'm in the minority here, but I would have rather seen a Juan Manuel Marquez rematch later down the line than a fucking bum-ass Robert Guerrero, Andre Berto, or Conor McGregor fight. Thank you again, Holy Inferno. So then the whole Pacquiao saga begins, and I'm going to play a little something for you guys. I'm going to play a couple of clips.
Would you consider giving him a rematch based on his?
And we're going to get into Floyd Mayweather's racist.
We're supposed to find out tomorrow whether the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight is finally going to happen. But apparently now you can't count on it. Pacquiao has agreed to the steroid testing that allegedly scuttled a.
Let's replay that one more time, because you know how all these Floyd fans say Pacquiao didn't want to take the test? Let's replay that one more time just so we're make sure everybody's ear. What did Paulie Walnut say? Better yet, go to the ear, nose, and throat department. Get your hearing checked.
Apparently now you can't count on it. Pacquiao has agreed to the steroid testing that allegedly scuttled a March match. Pacquiao has agreed to the steroid testing that allegedly scuttled a March matchup. Pacquiao has agreed to the steroid testing that allegedly scuttled a March matchup. But Mayweather still won't sign off. That are involved.
Because remember how people said Pacquiao didn't want, these fucking delusional Floyd fanboys say Floyd didn't want, or Pacquiao didn't want to take the test. And I'm going to get into more of that as well. Then the biggest duck in the history of boxing occurred on Floyd Mayweather's behalf when he blatantly avoided a prime Manny Pacquiao. Now, Pacquiao had agreed to everything. He agreed to the blood test. He agreed to everything. And Floyd still wanted more demands, more demands, more demands. And when he would agree to the blood testing, Floyd wouldn't agree to his cut of the money. When he would agree to the cut of the money, Floyd would bring something else up, etc., so forth, delaying this fight for another 6 years. And in between that time, Pacquiao had got knocked out by Marquez in their fourth fight. And Pacquiao was very much out of his prime after that fight. That was the end of, to me, that Marquez knockout signified the end of Pacquiao's prime. Okay? That was the end of Manny Pacquiao's prime, was the Marquez knockout. That was and even though he did get knocked out, Pacquiao was performing great in that fight. That was the end of prime Pacquiao. Okay? Now, he still did a bunch of great things afterwards. Don't get me wrong. But when he was at prime Pacquiao, that was the end of it, right? That signified the end of the glory days for Pacquiao. You know what I mean? So, what's up, Nordic? Everybody's go subscribe to my boy Nordic Warrior. And this was the biggest duck in boxing, in the history of boxing. Floyd Mayweather blatantly avoided Manny Pacquiao for 6 years. Then, when the fight actually did happen, because nobody likes to talk about this, Floyd Mayweather was popped for steroids after the Pacquiao weigh-in. Guys, make sure we're hitting the like, please. Make sure we're hitting them fucking like buttons. Floyd Mayweather, I have 27 people in here and 10 likes. There should be at least 25 likes in here, so we can get those up pretty soon. See that? Yeah, we can get those up. Now, where was I now? So, I already went over that, Carl. I believe you, Deliverance Boy. So Floyd created this ducking. Okay, let's get into this. So Pacquiao, after the Pacquiao weigh-in, Floyd Mayweather was caught in blatant red-handed with the syringe hanging out of his dick. Okay? Some people from the commission or whatever, or a sanctioning body or whoever the fuck they were, they went and knocked on Floyd's door the night before the Pacquiao fight. And Floyd was caught with a syringe, some formula, A, B, C, and D, and Floyd Mayweather basically bribed these guys off not to say anything until after the fight happened. Okay? And if you don't believe me on that, then go check out Thomas Hauser's report. There's also a great video that Michael Montero made a few years back that I'm going to post a link to in my comment section after I end the stream. So let's also go over now. With that, all that being said, the Floyd Pacquiao fight happened. Pacquiao had a busted shoulder, and Floyd Mayweather was caught doing steroids the night before, which all got swept under the rug, right? So, then we continue. Floyd cherry picks Berto, he cherry picks McGregor, and I haven't even gotten into the Floyd Mayweather cherry picking shit, but that's a conversation for another time, all right? Then there was, after Floyd retired again, Pacquiao wanted a rematch, and justifiably so. He had gotten fucked out of the first rematch. His shoulder was ruined. Floyd Mayweather was caught red-handed on steroids, which they swept under the rug. What's up, Carl? And nobody ever seems to mention this shit. So Pacquiao started campaigning for a Floyd Mayweather rematch, which Floyd Mayweather ducked Pacquiao again. Now, the proof of that is Pacquiao signed a 3-fight deal with the PBC at the end of his career. Shout out to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time, one of my favorites of all time. He signed a 3-fight deal with the PBC to wrap up his career. The first fight was with Adrian Broner, who he whooped. Then, between the Broner and the Thurman fight, there was lots of talks about Floyd and Pacquiao potentially having a rematch and blah, 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 blah. And I used to talk about this all the time on my old channel, how Floyd Mayweather didn't want to give Pacquiao a rematch because he knew better. And the proof of it is Floyd was ringside for the Pacquiao-Thurman fight. And after Pacquiao demolished an undefeated Keith Thurman and beat the fuck out of him and became the oldest welterweight champion in the history of boxing, Floyd ran out of the arena. He ran out of the arena, people. And so not only did he avoid a prime Manny Pacquiao in 2009, 2010, all the way up until 2015, then got caught on steroids. He also avoided a rematch with Pacquiao when he was 40 years old, which people also don't like to talk about. Guys, make sure we're hitting them likes. Hit them fucking likes button, fellas. So let's go through the list of fighters that Floyd Mayweather ducked. Now, once again, Spadafora, Casamayor, Freitas, Sugar Shane Mosley at 135 pounds. Sugar Shane Mosley at 135 pounds. Paul Williams, Margarito, a prime Miguel Cotto, a prime Manny Pacquiao, Kostya Tszyu, a Pacquiao rematch, Winky Wright. And the reason I felt like talking about this all today is because all the ducking we're seeing in boxing currently, all the coward shit we're seeing in boxing currently, is because Floyd the May. Thank you, Deliverance. Because all this ducking, all this coward shit, all this internet chitter chatter, it all started with Floyd. Floyd is the root to every problem you have in boxing right now. From the dudes being cowards to the dudes not agreeing to the money, from the networks not being able to get along. All of that shit started with Floyd. I'm not saying that Floyd Mayweather was the first guy to ever duck a fight. I'm not saying that. But he's the one that made it acceptable behavior. That's why you got these pussy-ass American fighters in this current era. Because of Floyd Mayweather. He set the trend for being able to take low risks with high rewards, having network wars, being able to duck the best fighters of your era and stay undefeated. Floyd said all that, people. He is the so we can hate, and I mean, and I fucking hate Devin Haney. I hate Canelo. I hate Ryan. I hate, a lot of Tank. If they didn't allow Floyd Mayweather to get away with the shit that he got away with, none of them other boys would be getting away with this shit now in the present day. Okay? And that's just facts. That's the truth, people. That is the truth. Now, I also wanted to go through some of Floyd Mayweather's extracurricular activities while we were at it. So not only is he the biggest coward in boxing history, he's also one of the biggest cowards outside the ring. In 2002, Floyd Mayweather got 2 counts of domestic violence for beating women. In 2004, Floyd Mayweather got a 1-year sentence, or a 1-year suspended sentence for beating on a woman, for battering 2 women. In 2010, he got arrested for beating his baby mama, Josie Harris, the one who had died. And I'm going to get into that further as well, in the death of his baby mother. So the guy, and like I say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Filth produces filth. His father, his uncle were crack smoking, women abusing clowns, just like he was. Filth produces filth, people. So Floyd Mayweather has this history of beating women. He also had his baby mother killed. Okay. Now, nobody has the balls to say this on YouTube. But Floyd had his baby mother killed, and I can prove it with my usual flawless logic. So right when I got a couple years ago on my old channel, for those of you who were on my old channel, the day Floyd Mayweather's baby mama died, they couldn't come up with the cause of death, right? They were still, the autopsy people and everybody were still trying to figure out what the cause of death. Funny as it may seem, when Floyd Mayweather's baby mother, Josie Harris, was killed, they were in the middle of a $200 million. She was in the middle of suing Floyd for $200 million loss, for a $200 million lawsuit for beating her 6 times and threatening to kill her. Right? The court case for the $200 million was set to be closed a few months later when she died. So the morning she died, Floyd Mayweather just happened to be in England. Perfect alias. So, and I was on top of this as soon as it happened on my old channel, and people who remember my old channel will remember that. He whacked her. He had her whacked. Because the initial autopsy report said that there was no signs of struggle, there was no traces of blood, there was no signs of foul play, A, B, C, and D. Then after Floyd Mayweather's baby mama, Josie Harris, got buried, then after she was already in the ground, then the reports came out that, she got bludgeoned in the head. There was traces of heroin and fentanyl and all this other shit in her system, which the initial reports were that there was no signs of foul play, no signs of trauma, no signs of drug use, none of it. It was only after she was already in the ground that these details happened to come out. Okay? So let's go through this. Floyd Mayweather Sr. and his dead uncle were crack-smoking, degenerate cocksuckers that helped destroy their own community by selling crack to their own people, smoking crack, becoming drug addicts. Floyd Mayweather's mother was a heroin addict. His Floyd Mayweather's aunt died of AIDS due to heroin use that she caught from using a fucking needle. And I've had my own battles with heroin addiction. I've been clean for 6 years. It'll actually be 6 years in January. So I'm not judging. But Floyd Mayweather, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, people. Filth produces filth. Floyd Mayweather's entire family is filthy, disgusting, scumbag human beings. And the apple even falls further from the tree when you look at Floyd Mayweather's daughter. And I don't like to talk about people's children, but Floyd Mayweather's daughter's a grown woman at this point, so who gives a fuck? Floyd Mayweather's daughter tried to stab a pregnant woman, got arrested for it. Nothing happened to her. Why? Because they have money. Now, if Johnny Boy, with the felonies that I have in my record, tried to, if I tried to stab a pregnant woman, I'd be given at least 10 or 15 years. His daughter didn't even get probation. Then, when the COVID shit started, Floyd Mayweather's daughter was standing on top of a boat party with all kinds of drugs going around and sex going around, and holding her newborn son on top of a boat with the COVID shit going on. Once again, people, the apple does not fall far from the tree. If you're born into a family of cowards, degenerates, pieces of shit, more than likely you're going to be a coward, a degenerate, and a piece of shit. And that's exactly what Floyd Mayweather is, people. He's the biggest coward to ever lace up boxing gloves. He's the biggest. Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is she didn't get in any trouble at all, Curtis. Floyd Mayweather is the biggest coward to ever lace up boxing gloves. He's the one that. He's the root to the problems in this current. He's the root to all the problems in this current era of boxing that you're seeing right now. Again, he's the one that made it okay to duck fighters to stay undefeated, to take the least amount of risk with the most amount of reward, to have these big network wars where the big fights can't get made. Floyd started all that, people. And fellas, make sure we're hitting the likes because I'm sick as fuck. And I'm spitting the truth to you right now. Okay? And there's one other thing I'd like to talk about with regards to Floyd Mayweather, and then I'm going to pan the camera back around and we'll have a... Kelmer, tell these boys on my old channel that I not constantly expose Floyd Mayweather. For those of you, and Carlos, you as well, you were on my old channel. You remember how badly I would embarrass Floyd Mayweather. I had the Floyd Mayweather channel responding to me because of how badly I would fucking blast Floyd. And that wasn't on my old channel. That was on my new one. This channel you're watching right now. I've had the Mayweather channel respond to me because of how bad I've humiliated Floyd, his supposed legacy, A, B, C, and D. I embarrassed him. The Floyd Mayweather channel used to come over here and respond to me. Guys, bear with me for 1 second. I'm very, very sick. I got to blow my nose. So let's go through it. Not only is Floyd the biggest coward in boxing history, he comes from a clan of degenerate drug addicts and cowards, like his dad, like his Uncle Roger, rest in piss, like his mother, like his daughter. Filth produces filth, people. It's that simple. If you come from a clan of scumbags, degenerates, cowards, more than likely you're going to be a degenerate, a coward, and a scumbag. I'll see if I can find. I may have taken it down, Deliverance, but I'll see if I can find it. Now, I want to show you guys one more thing to show you how, because, you know, white people are so racist in boxing and everybody else is so racist in boxing, but, you know, black guys always get a pass for being racist. African Americans, that is, because that's where the true, in this era, people, and in the last era, the true racism in boxing comes from black fighters towards other ethnicities. And if you don't like to hear that, I don't give a fuck. That's the truth of the matter. And I got love for every type of person on this planet. But that's the truth, people. The real racism over the last two eras in boxing has come from black people expressing their opinions on the fighters of other ethnicities. Whether you don't like the truth, that's too bad. Now I'm going to show you something else Floyd Mayweather had to say to prove my point a little further.
But we begin today with Floyd Mayweather's considered opinion on Jeremy Lin. Mayweather tweeted the following, quote, "Jeremy Lin is a good player, but all the hype is because he's Asian. Black players do what he does every night and don't get the same praise," unquote. Wilbon, you are never with Floyd. You're with him now.
No, not with him. First of all, that's wrong historically, because there've been all kinds of.
But other than that,
all week to say players like Michael Jordan and Kobe and Shaq have not done these things historically, nor have white players like Larry Bird or John Havlicek or Bob Cousy. No, nobody done them historically. So that's just wrong. Number one. But see, the bigger problem here is there's a history with Mr. Mayweather, who's not just a coward but a bigot. And he says things that would reveal him to me to be simply scummy. Let me just repeat something that he said in 2010 of Pacquiao. Said he should go make some sushi rolls and cook some rice. I mean, he's made plain he's a bigot. So now you can't come 2 years later and say something as if there was no history with your own words.
Did you see what Pacquiao tweeted today? God bless Jeremy Lin, just to sort of jam it to Mayweather. Look, it's wrong on a lot of counts. First of all, there are black players every day playing great and getting praise and getting money and making all-star teams and being the MVP.
Yeah.
So we get rid of that. Second of all, there's a larger point here, and I think it is reasonable to conclude, and I think you would agree with me, that Jeremy Lin may have faced some prejudice prior to this breakthrough.
Sure.
People that have looked at him and they would have said, I haven't seen anybody quite like him before. I doubt him.
Anytime.
And yet he's getting more praise now because of the combination of being Asian and being in New York.
It's compensation.
Fair
compensation. Because you know what?
That's right.
Anytime you're an oddity in any sport, whether you're Tiger Woods and you're young and you're growing up playing golf, people look at you going, what? What is this kid?
That's right.
A white kid now playing professional basketball in America, not overseas where plenty of kids, white kids do, but you're an oddity. And people look at you.
That's a good story.
So that's fair to point out.
Yao Ming is a good story. The first 7-foot Chinese. Tim Tebow, a guy that everybody can't play in the league. He's an oddity.
Here's something Mayweather may want to consider. Gary Payton, who last I checked is black, taught some of his pet moves to Jeremy Lin when Jeremy Lin was a young man, and Payton recognizes those moves. Thought Jeremy Lin could play then. So I'm glad that not everybody out there is buying into Mr. Mayweather's bigotry.
Actually, very few people are buying.
Enough said. Now, I'm going to post a link to, guys, I have 35 people in the building and only 18 likes. Guatemala, why would you rat me out like that? I'm going to post a link to, where the fuck was it? To Michael Montero's video, if I can find it here. I had it saved. And shout out to my paisan, Michael Montero. Where the fuck? Let me, hang on, fellas. Give me 1 second. I'm going to spin the camera back around now. Hang on. But that's just a very brief detail of how badly I can expose Floyd. And like I say, for those of you who are familiar with my old channel, you know, you guys know I used to let Floyd have it. Now, I'm going to post a link to Michael Montero's video where he talked about the falsehood that is Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao never tested positive for any steroids. Floyd Mayweather did. He got caught red-handed. And the whole narrative that Pacquiao was on steroids started from Floyd Mayweather's camp that he pushed to his friends like Dante's Boxing Nation, like the LDBC, he pushed the narrative that Pacquiao's on steroids to his friends in social media. Like Dante, like 78, like the rest of those guys. Now, I know Guatemala. I know. I'm just busting your balls. Now, I'm going to post a link to that video because Montero really broke it down better than I could. But, no. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Now I'm also going to see if I can, just in case anybody wants to watch, it is there. And then we're going to go outside and have a smoke. I'm going to come back in and we're going to take a look at some things. I might have taken it down to where the Mayweather channel responded to me multiple times. Okay. They know I got his balls and right here in an empty Coke can. Okay. They know that. They're aware of that. They're very, very aware of that. That they know that I got Floyd's whole life right here in this fucking empty Coke can, and my hands are Andre the Giant's hands with plenty of fucking scars. See, Floyd, this is what real hand surgery looks like, buddy. That's what real hand surgery looks like. I hit my hand. I was going for the knockout, but I hurt. That's what real scars on your hands look like. Look at it. Look at it. There's 45 fucking scars on that hand. Fuck out of here. Fellas, make sure we're hitting the like. I'm going to see if I can find where the Floyd Mayweather. Oh, well, first let me post this link. Oh, dude, I would. Guys, I have 35 people in the building and 19 likes. Please get the likes up. It helps the channel out tremendously. Guys, come on, man. Come on. There's 32 people in here. There should be 32 likes. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. So, yeah. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me see if I can find. Then we're going to go have a smoke. Yeah, get them likes up, fellas. Drop the kid a super chat. I'm sick doing this. Show a little appreciation over here. My mom just tested positive for COVID. And I just took one myself. So hopefully, say a prayer for your boy. But get them likes up. Do me a small favor and get them likes up. That's all I ask of you. Let's see if I can find it. I may have taken it down. Did I? I'm not going through all kinds of comments from a year ago trying to find it, but they responded to me multiple fucking times, though, man. Because I would tag them and shit. I don't give no fuck. I'm not afraid of anybody. Like I say, I would tag Floyd Mayweather's gym and a bunch of that shit. I don't give no fuck, man. I ain't scared of them dudes. Like I say, Floyd doesn't have the balls to step to anybody. He needs 7 bodyguards around him to step to be a man about something. That's not a man, people. If you're a man, you step to somebody solo. That's little gangbanging shit I used to do when I was 15, 16 years old. It's not a man. If you're a man, you step to somebody else like a man, mano y mano. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to see how much of a tough guy you really are. If Floyd Mayweather didn't have those bodyguards, he wouldn't be talking all that tough guy shit. Oh, well, here's where I responded to them after they came after me. After they came after me, and this wasn't on my old shit. They responded to me on my old channel too, but this was on this channel. Here we go. Hold on, I'll show it to you. This is after they responded to me on this channel. I'll show it to you what they said, or this is what my response to them was. LOL. So this morning, for the second time in the past week, the Mayweather channel came over here again to harass me. Obviously, I must have struck a nerve for you dudes who have half a million subscribers to bother little Johnny boy like that. So here's what I'll say to you at the Mayweather channel, Floyd and everybody else. Floyd will forever be known as the biggest pussy to ever wear boxing gloves. His legacy is based around staying undefeated while avoiding the greats of his era in their prime and flat out ducking others. Everybody that was a perceived threat to Floyd, he either one, aged them out, or two, didn't fight them at all. Your boss ruined the sport, and the PBC on Fox is a cancer to boxing. You idiots are putting on turd fights on pay-per-view for $80 a pop, like Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin and Ruiz versus a 50-year-old Areola. And then Floyd starts crying like a bitch about people streaming his fights illegally and conning him. And then I said, laughed, Floyd, you're in no position to cry about conning anyone out of anything, considering you and Al Heyman have been conning the boxing fans out of hundreds of millions of dollars for the past 15 years or so. You idiots work for a bunch of woman-beating cowards and racists, and Floyd will forever be known as a bitch. The man can't even go pick up a bottle of toothpaste from Walgreens without bringing 7-8-foot bodyguards with him. That's what kind of a tough guy he is. That was my response to them. That was my response after the Floyd Mayweather channel came over here. They know better than the fuck. They know. Yeah, they know better. Let's go have a cigarette. Let's go to Wake. Guys, get them likes up, man. Come on now. I got 32 people in here. I should have 32 likes, not 22 likes. We're 10 likes short. 10 of you are slacking. We know who's getting cut from the Marine Corps this week. You understand? Get the fuck off my obstacle or hit the like button. It's that simple. If you're in here, you should be hitting the like button. Ain't hard. It's free. Ain't a hard thing to do. But let's go burn one. Let's go burn one. The video where you set the Floyd Mayweather photos on. Oh, I forgot about that one. I think I tagged him in that. I don't even think that's up anymore, but I think I tagged him in that one too, Curtis. Yeah, but he's Floyd Mayweather. I believe you. Oh, it was on my old channel. Yep. You're interested in Floyd's daughter? Don't get her pregnant. She might try to perform a self-abortion. But he's the biggest coward in the history of boxing. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's really that simple, people. I just felt like now that the next couple of weeks of boxing are slow, I kind of felt like treading into some old turf, treading over some old water. And yeah, so that's what I was doing. The man never had any balls. He never will have any balls. And like I say, I'm going to keep saying this until I fucking croak. The reason you have all these problems in boxing right now with the fights not getting made and the promoters not getting along and A, B, C, and D is because of Floyd. All those issues lead back to Floyd. So if you want to get pissed off at anybody for these fights not getting made, you can thank Floyd for that. Not only was he a racist, coward, chicken shit, woman-beating punk motherfucker, he also did irreversible damage to the sport. That's going to take a long, 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 long fucking time to recover from. And that's the truth. That's all the truth, people. Whether you like it or not, I don't give a shit. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to fucking coddle you. Well, Curtis Small, if you recollect, Floyd Mayweather Sr. had once gotten shot in the leg prior to Floyd being born. I said it's too bad the shooter hit Floyd Sr. in the leg and not in the fucking head. And then not only would boxing be better off, the world would be better off without that piece of shit never have existed. Tank, Doo-Doo, Charlo, Ryan, Haney, Canelo, Fury. None of those guys that I just mentioned would be allowed to pull the shenanigans that they're getting away with now if Floyd Mayweather was never in boxing. And that's the facts of the matter, whether you like it or not. If Floyd never, Floyd cheated and used steroids with impunity. Canelo cheated, by extension, Canelo cheated and used steroids with impunity. Tank Davis cherry picked and never fought a challenging fight. Floyd cherry picked and never fought a real challenging fight. Yep. It's very similar to Canelo's too. There's a lot of similarities to Floyd's career as there is to Canelo's career. They're both of their resumes are littered with greats that were over the hill. Steroid abuse, corruption. Very, very. Canelo's the Mexican Floyd. I've been saying that for a long time. Then why did he get caught after the Pacquiao weigh-in? Dummy. You sound dumb. You don't like that. If you can't handle the truth, then this ain't the channel for you, because that's what I'm here to tell you, people. Straight up. But with that being said, my fucking COVID test just came back positive. So that's never a good thing. We'll see what happens from here on out, but I'm going to go relax now, fellas. I just felt like rehashing some old memories between me and that pussy Floyd Mayweather. Hope everybody has a nice night. God bless you. Please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll be in touch with you soon. Take care.